Welcome, useful content community. Today we'll be talking about how to deliver presentations with confidence with voice communication expert Daya Ottley.
Broadcasting live from Relate Studios in Trinidad and Tobago, it's the Useful Content Creation Show with your host, Juma Bannister.
This is a useful content creation show where marketing professionals and business owners come to learn useful things and also to how to create useful content and build better business relationships with their employees and their clients. My name is Juma Bannister. I am your host, and I'm happy to be with you. And for those in the comments, remember we are the useful content community. We own the bulb emoji, and I often forget to do this, but today I'm going to do it because I remembered. We own the bulb emoji. You can throw your bulbs up and drop your hashtag UCC live. And if you're here for the replay, drop your hashtag UCC replay. And today I'm happy to introduce our special guest who is going to teach us useful things on how to deliver your presentations with confidence. Welcome to the show, Daya.
Hey, Juma. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be on UCC live. It's very good to be here. And Juma, it's a long time I've been waiting to jump on here. You have to book Juma months in advance. So really appreciate you slipping in and being here on your show, man.
It's good to have you, and I don't understand this exclusivity in booking statements. Yet
just felt it sounded a little good, so I mean I just thought I'd throw it in, man.
All right, I hear you. You are actually useful content community alumni, useful content creation show alumni, because you've been on the show already. But that was a little bit different time in a different format. So we're happy to have you on again to share all of the things that you have to share with us today. Well, actually, you know what? Let's get to know you a little bit. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Sure, Juma, not a problem. So I essentially am a voice communication coach. And what that means is a lot of people have a struggle. If you have this challenge in using your voice to communicate or understanding how to use this gift that God has given us to send your message, I help you with that, essentially. And all of us have this voice, but do we always know what tone to use and what situations, how to really ensure that we draw on all the resources that we have inside of us, the gifts that we've been given? Do we know how to use these? Do we know how to express ourselves properly? So that's what I do. And essentially, I post content a lot on LinkedIn just to help people through that, Juma.
Right. And talking about LinkedIn, we have Joanne on LinkedIn saying, hi, Daya.
Hey, Joanne. Hey,
right.
Joanne.
So it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. And thank you for jumping on the stream. We appreciate that. And just so people know, Daya, apart from being a useful content creation show alumni, Daya, I've known Daya for a very long time, and he's an excellent voice communication coach and expert. And so Daya, how long have you been doing this? How long was
Wow. As just as long as we've known each other, over 20 years, I would say that it's more for the years, Juma. And it certainly has culminated into this point of helping people with their voice and helping people to communicate. But I have been studying, analyzing, figuring out how I use my voice for quite a while. And particularly the way in which my brain has worked over the years. I started as a voiceover actor, and I was always also involved. I shouldn't say I was, I'm still involved with media. So I literally picked up a bunch of packages. You know, think about those video games, and as you go along the path, you have all these coins to pick up. That's me. I mean, I gathered a whole bunch of resources as I went along my journey, and all those resources really helped me to be able to provide the service that I provide to people, Juma. And that has to do with media, learned how to read news professionally. I was a news presenter. I was a radio host. I got trained in that. And I also got trained in the area of voiceover acting. And I'm still being trained and coached. And I do a lot of research and studying. And so all these areas with voice as well as stage acting, I did a lot of stage acting, got coached by some really experienced people in the stage acting industry in Trinidad and Tobago. And with that experience, I really researched the whole issue of how one's voice is used, the different types of challenges people have. And it was really interesting because me of myself, I started as a young man not having all of these gifts, not being, even though hereditary wise, I was born or gifted with a deepish kind of tone, but that means nothing. People's like, whoa, well, no wonder you have this nice voice. Yeah. But I've come across so many people with nice voices, but they don't know how to use it.
Right.
And so the issue people I always tell people is not of a nice voice. The issue is how you use it. You could have a squeaky voice, you could have a high voice, you could have a firm voice, whatever kind of voice you have. The issue is how do you use it? And so I help people to come out of that and make them feel more confident in how they use this voice in communicating in any scenario in life, but especially in the professional world.
Right. I was going to ask that question, which came first, because we have a kind of a chicken and egg situation. Which came first, the
Yeah.
voice or the desire to use your voice? And I guess they kind of went hand in hand. But you definitely answered the question there, because I know there are many people who think they don't sound good, and then there are some people who sound incredible and they don't think they sound good. But both of those groups still need the same type of mindset shift when it comes to using their voice. All right.
Absolutely. I liked how you said, sorry, you go ahead.
Go ahead. There's a little delay. Go ahead.
Right. No, I was saying I like how you said that, because there are those people who it's not only about, that's why I don't focus on public speaking and respect to people who are public speaking coaches and focus on public speaking, but it's beyond the person who can stand on the stage with confidence and deliver a very rehearsed set of notes. That you can ace that, but in communicating with your staff member or speaking to a friend and telling them how much you really sincerely apologize for whatever you've done, to sincerely apologize for slapping someone in their face. I mean, learning how to communicate that. Learning how to communicate that
Current
with
events.
I just had to.
Okay. All right.
Learning how to communicate with sincerity, that's the issue. It's not just about coming on to an absolute delivery and everybody clapping, but what happens behind the scenes? How do you use your voice to do that? So that's the big issue in what I focus on.
Right. That's excellent. Joanne is saying Daya is super at what he does. These are facts. And she's inviting Megan to check out the stream, right? So thank you so much for those comments. All right, now that we kind of have an idea of what you do and how you help people, let's jump into the main topic of the day. But before we jump right into that, I want to ask you the big question that I ask everyone who comes on the show. What makes your content useful?
Oh, that is really, really, I would say, providing all the tips that I do for people, it really helps give them a shorter snapshot on a nugget size, a tip for them to improve their verbal communication. My content is geared to giving people a tip that they can use to implement in their everyday life that would improve their verbal communication. So my main content is on LinkedIn right here. Well, not right here, but on LinkedIn, because I know you're streaming elsewhere as well. But on LinkedIn and inside of there, the tips that I produce, it's really just to give people that nugget that they'll say, yeah, okay, that's good. I'm going to try that, or that's something to think about.
Right. That's excellent. Um, Jared is saying, Jared is saying, the man, the voice, Daya.
Hello, Jared Best
Yeah.
Mitchell.
All right. Excellent. Okay, so let's go on now to talk about the topic at hand, which is how to deliver presentations with confidence. I think you do have an exercise planned for this, and what I would want to do is I would want to tell the people, and this is going to be, well, I recently started a Facebook group for the useful content community. There's some people in the group already, and I would want to give those people an opportunity to go ahead and join the group, and so they will see the link to come into the studio. So Daya will have has a very interesting exercise that he'll want to do with you all later on. We already have one volunteer, and we could probably have two, and so that is the ticket down at the bottom on Facebook. Go join there if you want to participate. One of the benefits of being part of the group, you get to do exclusive things like this when our guests come on the show, and so you could go join that and do that. All right, so let's talk about how to deliver presentations with confidence. Daya, why is it important to deliver a presentation with confidence?
Yeah, Juma. So the thing with this, and as a manager, I was a manager in an organization, and let me start by saying you'll have people who work, and it's interesting. Sorry, two thoughts came through my mind. This guy who just commented, Jared Best Mitchell, he was one of them who was not like the example I was talking about. But anyway, you have people who are service providers and they come to make a presentation. And even some of Jared's colleagues at the time, I remember commenting on, I wouldn't want to buy that product because I wasn't convinced with how they sold it. And that means with the lack of confidence, if I don't care how good your product is, if you don't have that confidence in selling it with how you enunciate, how passionate you talk about it, then I'm not going to be confident enough to buy it. So, why is it important in your everyday job? I think most people, whatever you have to do at some point, either if it's a presentation you have to make, if you're a coach, if you're a solopreneur, if you have to make a pitch, if you have to make a phone call, whatever it is, you have to ensure and be conscious, so aware of how you are verbally communicating to people. And particularly now where our world is going so virtual, you have to be more present on a virtual call than in person. You have less body language to use. It's more just this upper part of your body and your voice that people are using. Some people are literally off camera when they're talking. So there's highly dependent on how you deliver. So I want to say, Juma, that it's important because it depends a lot on how you progress with your job, how convincing you are. And yes, a lot of it has to do with your knowledge of your product. That's good. But I've seen so many times where people can be much further ahead with their career or with whatever they do, or even just landing that job because interview after interview you're having, and somehow you know it, you're good on paper, but they don't like you so much when you go into that interview. When you leave, something just didn't grab them, that spark. You weren't able to think off the top of your head to answer the questions, and that exercise we're going to do a little later on really kind of helps to train people in that area of thinking off the top of your head, responding. And when you respond, you're not responding like an android, because that can happen too, because now all the information is in your head. I am a software analyst and I have 5 years of experience. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to relax, like feel an invisible massage and just be able to flow and talk to people. So that's like one of the main reasons I would say people should be able to grab this and understand.
So, all right, well, now that people know why it's important to deliver a presentation with confidence, and one of the things that stood out to me earlier that I did not mention, and I think you may have alluded to inside of what you just said, is that delivering presentations with confidence is not just actual presentation standing in front of people. It's like
Yeah.
everyday life. It's like something
Yeah.
that you could use to be functional when interacting with people. And I think that is something that people might miss, that when they hear presentations, they immediately feel like I need to stand up in front of a crowd, or I'm in front of a classroom, or maybe I have a group to present to. But what you are saying is that this is useful for everyday life, yes?
Absolutely, Juma. Everyday life. I and it just makes you a better human if you understand what I'm saying. It you if you are that person at work that from the time you come in the office, yeah, Juma, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? All right, and you know, I approach you and I say, Juma, how was your weekend, man? My weekend was good, Daya. How was yours? Oh, you did something with the kids? Yeah, I took the kids out. Oh, good. How was that? No, you kind of want to run away from that person because it's like, okay, I don't need you to announce everything I said to you, and I'm sure everyone's run into someone like that at some point in time. But you have to be larger than life. There are times when that is called for, but there are times when you could lower your voice and just the person in front of you hears what you're saying. Yeah, that's good, man. How was your weekend? Lovely. Really appreciate you went with the kids. Awesome. Nice, man. Good. So that's an example of not just doing a PowerPoint and telling people, well, this is what to do.
Right, right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. So now that we know the why, please jump into the how. How does someone present with confidence? What are the components of presenting with confidence in actual presentations and in your everyday life? Dive into that for us.
All right. So what I've done is I would put it in a package. There are several things that people really should be practicing. One of the main things that we just touched on is a method that I've designed or created. I call it the GAS method.
Mm,
GAS, gas. And gas meaning it gives you the fuel to really speak with confidence. That's
mm,
why I have the GAS method. But it's an acronym that stands for gather, arrange, and then speak. Now, gather, arrange, speak just speaks to the process, the mental process that one should have before you deliver. Gather. It starts with collecting the thoughts that go through our mind. Our minds have, they say, probably over 90 thoughts a minute pass through your mind, different thoughts flashing.
mm-hmm,
And so when you have to present, you are thinking about other things at that point in time, or you have a comment, someone asks you a question. Juma just asked me a question. Several thoughts flashing through my mind. I need to pull on one of them and then slot it into place. And I need to pull on another one and slot it underneath that, and then drag another one and slot it there. That's arranging my thoughts. Because if we begin to speak on just the thoughts that are coming into our mind, what will begin to happen is a repeat of words, a pausing, and a dragging on of your thoughts, and not really delivering what you want to say smoothly and with confidence. So, what happens is that we really need to gather, arrange, and then, of course, speak, because you can gather and arrange and then you just freeze. So, you want to then be able to deliver the thing that you're collecting. So that process is a mental one that we have to train our minds to do. Some people are really good at it. So
mm-hmm,
it happens. Some people are just effortless in how they speak and they just flow, and that's good. But this is not so much to do with just how charismatic you are. Because after that, you could speak, but then you want to understand and add to this whole gas is
mm,
understanding emotion and tone of delivery. Because if you
mm.
can speak so well, but every time you answer someone, you sound aggressive,
Right.
or every time you want to answer something, you can flow and you're charismatic and you don't fumble. But when you answer, you sound always very sad and depressed, or sound
Mm,
low keyed and soft spoken all the time. So the issue then is not only, well, I can speak, you throw me any question, I can. But then when you are delivering and speaking, how do you deliver? that thing that you're speaking about?
Mm.
What is it you're doing? Yeah, you were going to ask something.
No. I was
Oh,
just kind of agreeing with you.
okay. So how do you deliver that? And what do we do with our voice at that point in time? Are we aware of our tone? Are we aware of the intonation? And while I'm speaking to you now, I'm using so many different aspects of this technique. I lowered my voice, and so that's one aspect. You lower your tone to get your message across. Because if it is, I'm always talking at the same tone, the brain disconnects from the information that's coming at them after a while. That pause I just gave is called the dramatic pause, which sometimes recalibrates the audience and causes them to look up or stop whatever they're doing. Those moments of pausing in between brings your audience in. And so it's
Right.
really important to do that. Like right now, I'm raising my voice to sort of accentuate everything I'm saying to bring home the point. And that's very important when you're delivering a message. So I'm modeling as well for you the different aspects of what we could use. So it's not just about gathering and arranging, it's about that. And about just expressing with energy, because I can sit here, Juma, and talk to you. And I could say, oh, Juma, I talk about voice, and it's important to everyone to learn how to speak and how to enunciate, because it really helps you with your everyday work and what you do. There are people we come across who lack energy, and energy
Right.
is so important in how you deliver. So these are components of things that people need to be aware of. And you have to bring all of that together and then know how to, and learning the art of delivering that when you need to on a virtual call, in a room full of people, and just being confident in who you are. When you acquire all these skills, then Juma, it's like, all right, I have these skills, but now how am I going to execute it? How am I going to read a room? Different types of people. What kinds of examples am I going to pull to speak to this particular audience? And just being able to walk around and step into that with confidence.
Right. Talking about speaking, there's some mic man outside announcing some things. You all might hear that on the mic. Like I know in Trinidad, that's a staple. People go around
It's the
selling,
beauty of the Caribbean.
yeah, exactly, selling scrap iron, selling plants, selling
Buying
whatever.
butter, buying butter.
Yes, or selling water, whatever. So you might hear that in the background. That's a Trinidad thing, and maybe a Caribbean thing. All right, so I'm going to tell the people who are on LinkedIn and on the Facebook group that if you want to be part of the exercise, the gas exercise that Daya is describing, you want to be here on live. You have to be on camera. So you should, in fact, get yourself camera ready. I've dropped the link in the Facebook group, and I've dropped the link to enter the studio also in the LinkedIn comments. And if you want to come and be live on camera and do the exercise that Daya is going to do later, just in a few minutes, probably in about 15 minutes, then I would say you could join now, come into the studio, and we'll prep you, and you'll go on live and do the exercise, right? We already have one person in studio. So Allison, if you're there and your camera is ready, you can just prep yourself and show yourself on camera, and we'll get to you in a little bit, right? So Daya, you spoke about clarity, and you always talk about clarity, right? Oh, Allison is in the studio. She ready, man. You always talk about clarity. And you're saying that clarity has many factors.
Yeah.
And you talk about enunciation, you talk about volume, you spoke about, I guess, the language too. What is like the critical factor or the one thing somebody can do that is above everything else if they want to be clear?
Good question. Above everything else, if they want to be clear, I would say the issue would be the clearing your mind, Juma, above everything else. I think the number one distraction for people is when someone sounds unsure of what they have to say. And I would say that you know your product, but nerves, boy, it gets to people so many times, and so I those things, those repeated what we call filler words, because you're filling the space that you don't know what you want to say next. Now, some of the most brilliant people, like their minds, they know, have all this knowledge, fumble the most like some of the most brilliant people. So it really has little to do with intelligence. As a matter of fact, I think sometimes the brighter you are, there's so many thoughts passing through your mind then. Because if the average person is 90, you probably have like 200 as a brilliant person. And you don't know which one to choose and what to lead off on. So what you end up doing is you're slowing down. And I mean, I have this classic thing of the most astute intellects may sit back and I think about a time when I was young, and that's kind of what you would expect for these very, very brilliant people. They slow it down and they take a while to express what they want to say. I'm not saying that means everybody who's fast is stupid. That's not what I'm trying to say, of course, no. But I'm just saying that, you have to really look at the clarity. I think that's important, and ensuring that you're removing filler words, because the more you fumble and you sound unsure of what you want to say, it's harder for people to really buy what you're selling.
Right, right. So I guess confidence also is a major part of how people make
Yeah.
decisions when they hear you.
How we see ourselves. Yeah. Hey, that's number one, Juma.
Mm,
That's number two. That's yeah. It's like right there with with
right in
that. I mean,
between.
right there. It's like really on par, because you see that thing about perception and how we see ourselves. That's like critical. So it's right there with how you express yourself, because if you see yourself like too highly, you think of yourself more highly than you ought to think, or you think of yourself lower than you ought to think, then both of those can affect our speech. Because the reality, Juma, is our expression, our verbal expression, is
Mm,
really a representation of our internal quality, the
right.
state of our internal quality. What is your state of your internal quality? You can appear to be really smooth and dress well and look pretty or handsome, but then beneath all of that, there's a rumbling insecurity, or an insecurity could mask itself as confidence, or it could be literally showing up as shy and broken, or what we will call humble. But the reality is, if you just own who you are and accept and be genuine in that place of who you are, then when you walk into that and you step into it and you own it,
Mm,
it just breaks off every restraint and restriction that people would have on themselves in terms of stepping into that room. Those thoughts of doubt when you have to speak to that audience, and depending on where you grew up or where you're from, thoughts come to your mind about the perception people have of you.
yeah.
Remove all of that, because you know what? Most of the times, those perceptions are not real. If you had a chance to interview people and you saw someone looking at you like this, that could be them processing. It's not what stupidness you're talking about. You know, that's what a Trini expression. But that literally is not always the case. And the reality is, most of the times it's just our perception, insecurity, what we think, what people might have said about us, or what we think society says about the kind of person we are. And we just really have to remove all of that. And if you have content to say, I mean, unless you've actually somebody forced you to go and deliver a presentation, most times when we find ourselves having to present something, it's because we're an expert on the matter. We know what we're talking about. And
Yeah.
then doubt steps in, and then insecurity, and then imposter syndrome begins to creep up on you. But it's all about in our head, because there are those wins and those moments when you've done well and people have told you. It's kind of like social media, Juma, where people often, love the comments and likes. Two people or one person makes a negative comment, and then
Yeah.
suddenly it's like their world crumbles and falls beneath them. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so what you said is really great. So a few things have occurred to me. I don't want to lose these thoughts.
Yeah.
So the first thing that occurred to me is knowing who you are is very important. Like having a clear sense of your identity, knowing who you are. is very important in order to be able to present properly. Because if you're not sure about yourself, then you cannot deliver the thing that you're supposed to deliver with confidence, right? And that is probably connected to understanding what you have to deliver, having a story, and all those different things. That really does help.
Yeah.
And the second thing is almost like you have to silence the internal noise. Like there is a lot of internal things fighting to telling you. There's one part of you saying you're like this, and there's another part which is actually true you, and it is like there's a internal battle going on. You have to silence those dissenting voices and saying, this is really who I am. So it's a case of having a clear identity before you begin to deliver these things. I don't know if that's what you kind of was saying.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very true. That, you see, that's stilling the noise, because we all have noise. It's called history, where we grew up, what experiences we had as a child, and a lot of this comes from childhood. What parents shaped, and parents have the best interest at heart, but sometimes, it might be experience, the environment we grew up in. It may not be parents, but it may be a grandmother, grandfather, aunts, uncles, whatever your situation might be. Everyone around you might not have supported you in the way you really needed to be supported. And deep inside of you, there are desires, there are feelings that you should be like this, but there are louder thoughts screaming in your head saying no. That only comes because of what people said. But people's views and opinions about you shouldn't define who you are, shouldn't speak to who you are. And when people come into realization of this and they recognize, no, I'm better than my past and my definition, I can certainly look forward to my future and think about what does a future look like for a whole person. And like I said, I started off as a young man without confidence, without knowing who I was or owning that. And the moment I was able to recognize, no, a transformation took place on the inside of me, and noticed I could be better than this. I don't have to be lacking confidence. I could stand from a platform of security and confidence. And that is an amazing place that we need to all get to if we want to fill that space that we come into, whether it be a presentation or people say, Susan, can you present to the staff next week? No. There's a fear that suddenly comes. I will encourage you all to examine where that is coming from. Go there. Yes, go there and deal with it.
Yeah.
Because it hinders you from becoming the person you really need to be.
Yeah, I think, and of course, if you need to get help or that, or that may be a bigger issue or long-standing thing, that may be in order, but you have to know what you need to do. Let me just say, I didn't heal out everybody. Let me just say, Garen said, "Good morning, everyone," and Priya was on, and she was saying good morning as well. Of course, Garen usually throws his bulbs up. Thank you so much, Garen, for doing that.
Throw your bulb up.
Throw your bulbs up. He wanted to come on, but he was making some pancakes. Okay, that's all right, no problem. And Natasha was saying confidence is everything. And Priya was saying very good points. And Megan just added, love this, so helpful.
Hey,
all right.
Thanks, Megan.
All right. All right. So I want to add one more thing to what you were saying, and then we'll jump into the exercise that you're talking about. So I'll add my comment, and then you'll describe the exercise. And since Allison is backstage and she's ready, she put on a camera just now, so I know she's there waiting. And she could put her camera back on right now. Oh, there she is. All right, okay, I see her camera on. We're going to invite her in the studio in just a couple of minutes, but I will say to anyone else who wants to join and come on backstage too and do because we have two parts of the exercise to do. The link is in the Facebook group, and the link is also in the comments in the LinkedIn live stream. Do that. I'm sorry, YouTube people. You're not invited to this jam, but you can do that and you can join and do the exercise, right? You can join now and you'll be backstage. So one of the things that stood out to me about what you were saying, Daya, is that the comments can be so destructive to people if people let it be.
Right.
And sometimes you get 100 comments and one negative one, and that one grows and swallows up all of the positive comments. And the reason I know this is because I posted a video this morning on TikTok, and I got a negative comment, right? And usually what I do when I get a negative comment, I just pin it to the top, welcome the person to the community. So I pin it
Oh,
so everyone
I
can
love
see.
it. I love it.
Because I also assume on TikTok some of these people are kids, and strangely I went to the person's profile and their comments were so toxic. People were telling them all sorts of stuff, so they are mirroring this behavior
Right, right. Yeah,
that
I
they
get you.
receive. They are mirroring it in other places. So sometimes really it's your history and
Interesting.
the environment that causes these things to come out.
Yeah.
Right. Kelsey, right, from Belize, another great guest. Yes, thank you so much, Kelsey. All right, so let's do the gas exercise now. Sorry, did I give it away? Yeah, when you said gas already, right? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring Allison on stage. You ready, Allison? Just nod if you're ready. Right, she's ready. Right? I'm gonna bring her on stage, add her to the stream. Hi, Allison. It's
Hi,
good to have you
everybody.
on.
Hello,
Hi, Daya.
Allison.
Hi.
All right, great to have you on. I'm gonna take myself off stage for a second and let Daya do the exercise with you. But
I'll explain first, and then we'll load it up.
all right, so tell the people what we're about to do, Daya. Go ahead.
All right. So what we're about to do is just test and Allison. This is not in any way to judge you. Don't feel. Thank you so much for being the guinea pig in the situation, being
You're
brave enough to
welcome.
try.
You're
What we're about to do, and everyone looking on can help with the exercise, is we're going to test in 2 minutes how well you. I'm going to throw up a topic on screen, and when you see that topic, you have a few seconds to gather your thoughts on the topic, arrange your thoughts, and then speak. Now, here are some rules to this. You're not allowed to stop talking before the 2 minute timer is up. You should not pause for too long. Like, can I start over? Not doing that. So as the topic comes up on screen, you are just to speak. And we want you to speak, but really make the topic alive and engaging. In other words, if you were in a room full of people, you want people to really be glued to the screen. So your voice has to be engaging, your tone, and of course, no filler words. No, yes. So I try your best to do that. So everybody, you could count how many filler words Allison has, and let's see if the next person that wants to go can challenge and beat that. And then you have an opportunity to throw a topic out to me, so I can model to you. And I have no idea what topic you'll come on. Nothing too hard, but you
It's nothing too hard for me, too.
simple topics. And so so you will throw it back to me, and then I will model for 2 minutes how to do this. The thing is, Juma, we didn't have a timer, a 2 minute timer playing alone. Anyway, I guess we could just use one from before.
Right.
Clock.
So we had the 2 minute timer on the video itself.
Yes, on the video, but when I'm doing it, I guess you just
for you.
For me, you just probably throw up one of them, and we just know is another topic. All right, not a problem.
All right. We don't have a timer for Daya.
Yeah.
I could time it and tell you. I'd be like, time to stop.
That's good. All right. So that's the explanation there, Juma.
Let me see. Let me just jump on YouTube here. Let's have a little fun. Be a little relaxed. It's a Saturday. It's the Caribbean. Let's have a little fun. Let me just type in 2 minute timer here.
You could share YouTube on it, man. Well, that's good.
2 minute timer. And all right, I found one.
Right,
all right. So we'll see if we could share that
when it's my turn.
When it's Daya's turn, right? Okay, so I'm going to take myself off stage, and I'm going to let Daya hold the stage with Allison. And I'm going to, as soon as I come off stage, I'm going to show the video. You already got the instructions, Allison. You tell her when to begin. You control everything.
Sure.
And I'm going to take myself off now, right?
All right. Great, Allison. So you're ready. So it's always good to relax by taking a deep breath. To another one. Not yet, Juma. If you could pause the video and start it. Right. Okay. So this is the topic you have. Talk about the most beautiful place you've ever been to. I'll give you a few places you've ever been to. So I'll give you a few moments to just gather your thoughts together to think about how you're going to deliver this. All right. And once I say go, Juma will start, and your 2 minutes will begin. Are you ready, Allison?
I think so.
As ready as you can be. All right. Yes. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay, not to be biased, the most beautiful place that I've ever been to was to Tobago. I love the beaches. I love the food. I love the people. I love the ambience. I just love being in that place. The flight is normally quick. I don't like the boat. You can go either with the boat or with the airplane. I love the flight because it's just 12 minutes or 20 minutes, somewhere along there, but it's quick. I just love being in that space. I love the sun. I love the crab and dumpling. I love the food. Everything about the place is wonderful. I'm just out of words, but I love the place. I just love being in Tobago. As a matter of fact, I have another trip scheduled shortly. I've been there twice for the year already, and I'm going back again soon. I want to invite anybody who has never been to Tobago, who has never experienced the beauty, the sights, Pigeon Point especially. Last time I was there, I was at Pigeon Point, beautiful. I just love being there. I don't know what to say again, Juma. I don't know what to say, Daya, but I just love being in Tobago. That's the best place I've been in quite a while.
50 more seconds. Keep going.
Okay. Um, there's nothing much to do in terms of entertainment per se, but if you want a relaxing time, if you want to have a quiet time, if you want to enjoy just the peace of the place, there you go. Tobago is just the place that you should be.
Keep going.
Um,
5,
I
4,
don't
3, 2,
know.
1. Well done, Alison. You're a very,
No.
very good camper. Loved it. I know it's a challenge. It's not easy. You did well.
I
You did
know two
well.
minutes is
You
a
did well.
long
It
time.
looks like a short time, but it's long, especially if it's thrown. Very, very good. I think you did a great job. Great job.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, great
Yeah,
job.
yeah. I
I
I did
counted
it early.
about six filler words inside of there, but considering, that's good. Now, just to share what inside of that exercise you have to do is really try, and when you see the topic, your brain has to work really fast to think about a few things you want to talk about. Grab
Yes.
one to those points, like I was sharing before. Sometimes we have a million and one thoughts to say, and so you want to then add a bunch of information to that one thought, or the second thought, or the third thought, and it fills up the time. So you could spend time talking about, for example, talk about Tobago. You could go into the description of the beaches, the people, the food, describe the kinds of food that you remember about Tobago. That's just one point that you can fill out. Then
Yeah.
you could talk about the journey to Tobago, the experience of going on the plane, and the size of the plane is so small, and sometimes people are scrambling over you. And inside of COVID, you have to
Yes.
keep your mask on. And sometimes I'm just excited to get out of this plane. But when you land in Tobago, the experience is breathtaking. You understand? That's
Yes.
filling out your time. So just some
Yes.
some pointers as to how we can fill out the 1 or 2 points that you had. All right.
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you so much. So throw a topic at me, and hopefully Juma has the timer ready.
All right,
Okay, turtle watching.
Excuse you. We said easy, right?
Okay.
We said
Um,
easy. All right, we can
that's
talk about
okay with
turtle
you.
watching. Yes, say turtle watching. I'm not going to. All right.
all right.
Okay, let's go.
So you tell Daya when to go.
Okay, how was the experience? Have you ever
No,
experienced?
just that's a them go. Yes,
Oh,
go
okay,
See,
when
you
to
gave
go.
me
go.
the topic
Go.
already.
Okay, go, Daya.
These creatures with a hard shell and 4 legs. Is it 4 legs they have? I'm confused. The little thing on the back, is that a leg or a tail? Anyway, it's called a turtle. So many times we see on television people are damaging or injuring these creatures that are becoming extinct. In our country, Trinidad and Tobago, there's a season for turtle watching. That's when the humans come out in the night and they load the beach with their flashlights and hunt down these animals. But they have to keep them at a distance because these innocent creatures come upon the shore to do something that every single species that's living does: reproduce, put their young there in eggs. And the very gruesome act of some people by taking those eggs, damaging them, destroying them, stopping the reproduction of these turtles is absolutely, I don't know, speechless. The thing is, what we have to do is protect them. Now, people come with their flashlights, their tents to watch these creatures, sometimes coming up on the shore. Some of them as huge as a motorcycle slowly crawl up on the shore. You see them moving one at a time, one at a time. And then they go back. It's a beautiful sight. And guess what? The sky is clear. You can see the stars twinkling down on you. Turtle watching is an experience I encourage anyone to just come to if you dare. Don't snatch the eggs, don't hide them in your bag, but come to Trinidad and do some turtle watching.
You are an expert, Daya. An expert at what you do. One day I'll get big like you.
I'm not big, It's just gathering, arranging your thoughts. Thank
That's
you,
awesome.
Alison. Okay.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Alison. Thank you for being on and doing the exercise. And thank you for being part of the useful content community. Alison got the link inside the Facebook group. And if you want to be a part of that, go to the Facebook group too. Alison, see you around. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank
You're
you.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was not staged, folks. We did not stage that. It was not. I did not know the topic until she told me.
Right. It wasn't staged. Actually, I think she riffed off of your topic a little bit and
Right.
and got the turtle thing. It was a kind
From
of a
Tobago. Yeah.
sea exercise. You know what's amazing about it? You know what I just realized, Daya? I just realized that both when Alison was speaking and when you were speaking, I was listening to y'all. I had so many thoughts about what I could say.
Yes.
And it was almost always different to what you were saying. So I have gone to watching several times. So I know what the process is like. So when you started to talk, I said, "Oh, Daya should talk about the fact that you need red light. You can't use your regular flashlight."
Yeah, I've never been before, so I was just all at the top of my head from what people have said. So there you go. You get a topic you might never have experienced it before. You just have to go with whatever,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, and it could be almost anything, and that way it
Yeah.
teaches you how to. Yeah, that's excellent, Daya. All right, we don't have anybody else in the studio, so we do have the second video to do, but we don't have anybody else. So
Well,
so I'm just gonna show some
got-
comments, and if nobody
right.
comes in, we'll
We got Juma. We got
Me?
Juma.
Cough.
we got Juma.
I could try.
mean,
I could try. Let me
Yeah.
see. Let me see. So Garen was saying, "Looks so fun. Let's go, Alison." Alison did a great job. Joanne was saying, "Crab."
Crab? Yes, Joanne.
Wait.
Crab. We actually eat crab in Trinidad.
Yes.
Yes.
If Joanne is from Maryland, the state of Maryland, she will be eating crab too. Trust me, that's a big delicacy there. Or if she's Cajun as well, that's a big thing.
I'm sold. I'm going to Tobago. That's good, Garen.
All right. And Joanne was saying, "Great job." Chelsea was saying, "Amazing." And Facebook user, I have no idea who this is. I'm sure their name will come up soon.
Okay.
It's probably might be Nikisha, because Nikisha generally has things, but it might be somebody else too. Thanks so much for your comment. I appreciate that. All right, so Daya, I'll take up your challenge and I'll do the exercise. All right, and this will be the last exercise we'll do before we bring the show in for a big landing. So, and you could talk about different things that you're doing right after that. So I'll help you out. I don't know, even though I downloaded this video, I did not look at the topic because I was doing it during the show, which is nerve-wracking to try and do while I'm talking and keeping everything going.
Joanne actually said she loves crab. It's her favorite food. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed it wasn't crab. It was crab.
Crab. Okay, there we go.
That's great, Joanne.
All right. So let me add the video. I don't know what the topic is. I'm going to have to pause it, right? Let me go and get the video, right? I've got this one from WhatsApp, so it should be this video here.
Yeah.
I'm going to add it to the stream.
All right.
All right, let me pause this.
Start back. All right. So you have a few seconds to gather your thoughts on this. And then, Juma, you're talking about your first day on the job. It could be like your first job and talk about that first day when you came out or your first new job and the first experience you had. We're talking about that for 2 minutes and reducing your filler words, etc. Right?
I'll try.
Yeah.
Tell me when to go.
3, 2, 1, go.
I remember my first day on the job. It was a time when I was very excited. I hadn't had a job like this before, and I know that the day was going to be a really excellent day. I prepared myself. I was pretty nervous, but even though I was nervous, I said to myself that everything would go well. I remember not having a car, not having transport, and having to travel, pay a taxi to get me where I wanted to go. And even though that was the case, I was still very much looking forward to what would happen. I got up extremely early that morning to prepare for the job. I put my clothes on, I prepped. I don't even think I ate because I was so nervous about what would happen, even though I was excited. I left the home with an empty belly. I can remember my mother shouting out to me, "You're not going to eat anything?" To which I replied, "No, I'm not hungry." And it was really the truth. I didn't have anything that I wanted to eat on that day. So after traveling for about 30 minutes and getting to the front of the building where I would now freshly be employed, I looked at the door, I took a deep breath, and I rang the buzzer. The first person to greet me when I came to the door was somebody who I had seen at a glance during the interview, but I had not spoken to. And I said to him, "Hey, I am new here today. My name is Juma." And he introduced himself, said his first name was Gary. I said, "Nice to meet you, Gary." And Gary was someone who seemed like a good person to greet you at the door. He was very friendly. He was very pleasant. And then he said, "Come, let me get some information from you before you start your day." And so I sat down with Gary. While I was in the room, I could hear the sound of the printing presses going on at the side of me because the place I was working at on that first day was a printery. I had been trained in print and I had looked forward so many years to getting a job in this industry that I was really very excited to finally be in a place where I can smell the smells and feel the paper.
Yeah, man, Juma. Only two fillers. That's excellent, bro. That's excellent, excellent, excellent. Good job.
All right.
You did it, Juma. You did it, Juma.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
It seems like if your brain was trying to hold all those thoughts together so you don't stray at all. I saw the clockwork.
Yeah. So what happened in that moment there? What happened is that when Alison began to describe her trip to Tobago or the best place she's been in her life, I said, you know what? I will just make this a story. I said that in my mind. And so I'll make it a timeline in my mind and I will start from the top.
That was brilliant.
And go down the lines of activities.
You made a story.
You know?
That's a very, very good approach. You know, you create it as a story. And even inside of a story, it helped you to go along. So you knew because it was a story you were telling, you could go along a certain path. If it is you saw it as just points in your head, then you know you would probably just deliver it as points. Because in essence, that's what we're doing. We're telling a story. But you know, it's good to know where you're starting off in the story and where you're ending. And that's good, just 2 filler words. So let's see if I could challenge that and have less filler words than you.
All right. So let me see
on the topic
what topic shall I give you, Daya? What topic shall I give you, Daya? This is going to be a hard one. I'm going to give you a real hard topic, right? The topic I'm going to give you, Daya, is let me actually type it out on a banner here right now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make this such a big deal.
Hey, we could have done that. Yeah, we could have actually put the topic up before with Alison. Yeah,
I did.
Banners interesting. That's good. We could do that.
All right. I'm going to type it in here.
That's pretty good. A banner. That's good. Thank you, Juma.
All right. So we have it ready here. I'm going to add it. And so this is your topic, Daya. Your topic is a time I was scared but should not have been.
Oh, okay.
Right? A time I was scared but should not have been. Let me know when you're ready and I'll start the timer.
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this.
Wait, let me start over.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Start. So you could have count me down 3. Start
okay.
over.
3, 2, 1.
It was about 2 years ago. I was asked to deliver a summary of presentation on a conference. I was invited to be at a conference and we had to sum up everything. So that was my job. This was a conference with people from the CARICOM. That's people from all over the Caribbean and the UK, different places. And the very last day, I had to take all these pieces of information together and deliver it. Now, my wife and I, we took the notes and we collaborated. She was also working with me. And then I was told to stand and deliver. Now, I knew this in my mind. I knew what I had to do. I was confident. There was no need for me to be afraid of the people that I had to present to. Not because they were executives and ministers of governments and different people from the Caribbean. That has no reason for me to be afraid of that. But somehow there were nerves. I remember stepping onto the stage and I could actually hear the sound of my heart. And as I stood to deliver, it was going faster and faster. And I remember one thing that I did in that moment. I stood on the stage and I lifted my eyes above the heads of the people. I took a deep breath. I said, you could do this, Daya. It's just information. And I began to speak. And I found my heart rate slowed down and I paced the stage up and down. And I delivered that presentation and that information as if it was easy. I got so many commendations after. I realized there was no need for me to be scared.
All right. All right. All right. I didn't even check how much ums or ahs. All I know is that you did. You know the thing that was interesting about what you did just now? You use a sound effect as part of the Are you allowed to do that?
It's a speech, of course. If you're allowed to, you could. I mean, you're delivering a presentation. If you're talking, it draws your audience in, and that's one of the things that we have to be thinking about. What can I use? Sometimes I would slam the desk. It's nonsense, to wake people up. The reality is, in a room, what you want to do is draw people in.
All right.
And you use your microphone as well. If you have a handheld or a lapel, it's good to understand. That's a whole other discussion, Juma, but using your mic techniques, especially if you're presenting. I love to have a lapel when you're presenting because you could do so much with it. You could lower your voice and say something that really draws people in, or you could throw your voice back and turn your head, whatever. I mean, but point is, once it brings home the message and you keep your audience glued, that's what you want to do.
All right, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. If I would have done some sound effects like the car pulling up and the printing press.
Of course, man.
So
I mean, we continue to learn. At the end of the day, it's really just about whatever message we want to deliver, how you're delivering, particularly if you're presenting something.
Right. All right, let's look at some of the comments that's been down here. I haven't checked this in a little bit. So Joanne said
yes,
she's done this exercise.
Joanne is a really close friend. I would call her a friend if Joanne would allow me to say that. She is a part of a group that I presented with, and Joanne's a faithful follower as well. She always is engaged with the content, and so Joanne and Emmy Wu, she's part of Emmy Wu's group. Emmy, I just wanted to big you up. Maybe I'll tag you to this post when I post it back. But Joanne and Emmy, they're part of these. They run a video content coaching group. So definitely, I did a session with them. It was great.
Right. And we have Chelsea saying, "Oh, thank you, Chelsea." I didn't realize
that he is a good storyteller.
Yeah,
Practice with his kids, I'm sure.
Yeah, the kids are very helpful when coming with that. I'm looking for the person who's making comments on
Facebook user.
Is a Facebook user. Oh,
Yes,
that's why I was missing
LinkedIn.
it. It's not LinkedIn. All right, that's why I was
I
missing
get
it. I understand why now I wasn't seeing it. Oh, I know who it is now. It's my lovely wife who's commenting. Hey, hi.
That's why I heard this story already. Okay.
Hi, Mrs. Bannister. Andrew Fairman from Jamaica is saying, amazing. I'm not sure if I could do that, finishing my race before even starting. Dead would laugh.
That's
Right.
right, man.
Yeah. DWL is dead with laugh, people. For all those who are
Oh,
not from the
first, that's a
Caribbean.
new one. Didn't from the it's a Caribbean thing. All right.
Yeah. Well, dead with laughter is actually an international thing, but we say dead with laugh here. And so on. And this is my lovely wife, even though her image is not there. It's from Facebook. Thank you so much. She joined the Facebook group, so that's why she's there.
Awesome, of course.
Chelsea is saying, great job, Daya.
Thank you, Chelsea.
You captivate your audience, Daya. And Joanne is saying, I'm honored that you call me friend. Thank you. Right.
Awesome, Joanne.
All right. So we've been on for a little bit. It's literally been an hour.
After the time. Wow, that went really quickly, Juno.
Went really very quickly. To people, do you want me to do agree, disagree with Daya? We normally do a segment called agree, disagree. If we can spend 5 minutes and do that, will you be willing to do that, Daya?
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
great. All right. So let's run that segment. Let's run agree, disagree. All right. So this segment is called agree, disagree. This is a segment where I show statements to the guests, to Daya, that he's the guest today. And he will tell me if he agrees or disagrees, and he may or may not offer an explanation. These statements are not indicative of what I agree or disagree with. They're just general statements that somebody could agree or disagree with, right? Some of them are specific to Daya. All right, so let's go. This is the one that I ask everyone when they're on this show.
Okay.
Agree, disagree. Passion before skill.
Sorry. I'd say passion. Yeah.
Passion, okay. All right. Agree, disagree. Next one. Great speakers are always made, never born.
I would agree.
You agree with that? All right. Why would you agree with that?
Because I think if the definition great would mean that you really have to go through understanding your audience, understanding how to deliver. Everyone who you say, well, people say, well, since a child, they've been doing this. But guess what? It's like from a child, you continue to add pieces. And eventually when you come on stage, you've learned, even though you may not think you've learned, a lot of experiences. Some things may come more natural, but definitely to reach to that place, you had to learn it, which means you've been made along the way. So,
Right. I get you. All right. Agree, disagree. Being a radio host is much more challenging than speaking live.
disagree.
Disagree?
Wait. Sorry. Being a host
is much more challenging.
Radio host is much more challenging than speaking. Well, it's the same thing. You see, radio host is not recorded. If you asked a voiceover actor, then that's different. Being a radio host is also speaking live. So you mean speaking in front of an audience?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Right. If being a radio host is more challenging than speaking live
in front of an audience,
speaking live is. I'm processing it. I'm processing it. Is it more challenging than in front of a live? I would agree to an extent. It could be more challenging. I could explain why.
Right. Explain why. Give us a quick explanation.
Being a radio host. Yeah. So the reality is a radio host, and I'm particularly talking about hosting on radio, not a DJ. Just want to define the difference because because when you have to do that, you have to plan. You are on live, and there's no opportunity to pull back the words that you gave. And this is a radio host is for a lot longer period of time. Once you open that pot and you begin to speak, you have to speak with some level of knowledge. And interestingly, Juma, just want to plug this, that piece of information that I talk about with gas, I learned that on radio, because once you open and begin to speak, you have to, you're always thinking before you open. There's a lot more pressure and tension. So from that point of view, I'd say, live is short engagements. You do it, you get it over with. You kind of plan beforehand what you want to say. Radio is a little more organic, and you flow. So that's why I would say it's a little more challenging.
All right. So next in line, agree, disagree. A tired body is equal to a tired voice.
Agree.
All right, that one's easy. I would suspect that's easy.
Yeah.
Agree, disagree. Communication is more about mindset than language.
Agree.
Okay, that one was also easy because we discussed that during the actual show. And finally, one that I ask everyone is, on social media, you grow more from doing rather than consuming.
Agree.
Agree. All right, great, excellent. And the reason I'm rushing down this part is because I want to get to something that you wanted to talk about real fast,
Yes.
which is the how to own the room. Tell us about that.
Right. So right now I actually have on pre-sale or pre-order my video course, How to Own the Room. So everything we've spoken about this morning, I've packaged in a video course. It's available now until Monday at 2 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time or Eastern Time, available at $199 US. That's right. So you can get a chance. I've packaged it. It's 3 modules, 13 lessons. It's probably about 57 minutes in total. Absolutely engaging content. You get some video tips on gas. You'll actually have content and media material to practice this method. I'll take you through step by step so you could actually understand the gas method and how to use it. You can understand how to really stand in front of an audience and deliver. It's a very engaging, and I'm not saying that in any way, but really it is. I've several people have interacted with the content already and say, no, this is good. I've really tried my best, my one-on-one coaching, Juma, to package it in a video course that people can really get the best out of it. And after that, I'm going to create a community so that I will do like a once a month session with people who have joined and signed up and ordered the course. You can actually be on a call and we could go through discussing the challenges of your voice. So this is something brand new, Juma. It's already available. I don't know if you'll drop the link after the show in the comments so that people can actually go to the site and check it out.
Is there a direct link to like a landing page or something?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
there is a direct link. So that you can go and check out the How to Own the Room video course. It's going to be live. The course is going to be live on Monday at 2 p.m. and the price is going to go up drastically. So you definitely really jump in now. You're going to save $300 US right now on the course at $199. So you want to definitely take advantage of it and grab it for yourself.
I'm trying to look for it on the website here.
I will send you the link now, Juma.
So you can drop it inside the internal comments here on.
Will do.
On thing, and I'll share it. But if you wanna see check out Daya stuff, you can go to DayaOttley.com. In the meantime, go to DayaOttley.com, and Daya's on LinkedIn as well. He's there at Daya Ottley. And I'm not sure he's the only one, but he's the only one with this link with Daya Ottley. You could go there and you could talk with Daya and really figure things out with regard to how you can get to the course. Do you share your email with people? Is that a thing you do?
They could DM me on LinkedIn, or you could do a DM. That would be preferred.
All right, so you can DM Daya on LinkedIn at that same link there, and it's on How to Own the Room. Let me go and drop that in the comments here on LinkedIn. I'm going to drop that in the comments here. So if you want to go straight to the course that Daya has done, I've dropped it in the comments here on LinkedIn, and for my people on Facebook, I'm going to drop it in the comments there as well on Facebook, so they could take advantage of Daya's course, a very excellent course that he has running, available on Monday. You said at 2 it goes live?
Monday 2, the course goes live and the price goes up. So definitely between now and then, you get it at $199 US, right? So you want to take advantage of that. It goes up to $499 on Monday at 2 p.m.
All right, so pre-book, people, if you want to get the lower price. $199 is a steal of a deal for what Daya is doing here with his course. And we all saw it in action earlier on, so I've experienced it, and Daya was good 20 years ago, so he's much better now. So all right, thanks everyone so much for being on. Daya, have any parting words to share with the people?
Just continue to bring your best self to anything you have to do, and don't hold back. The world needs you.
Excellent words from Daya there to close off. Thank you, useful content community. Thank you for being on today. And don't forget to continue to make useful content. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.